Today I played Bayonetta 2. Well, it really has been just that. I may have watched a few YouTube videos from my phone while in the bathroom or something, but Bayonetta 2 has been today. So I finished the main game, the story mode. I finished it a lot faster than I finished the first game. I think possibly because it did feel a hair easier. They gave you a lot more health than the first game. Just random health drops, you know. Sometimes I even thought that it just randomly refilled on its own, like before an encounter. It was just like, oh, here's more health, you know. It could have just been that I hit something and I picked up some shit or whatever, but yeah, some of it does feel a bit easier, and now I'm going to run through it again and use a guide to collect every single goddamn thing I can collect and just go crazy with it. And there's a cool new mode thing that's like an online thing where it's called Tag Climax, where it's just me and either a computer or a random person, and we're just beating the shit out of things together. And you're sort of competing for the best score, and at the same time you're just, you know, you're practicing and you're getting more things, and you got like a ranking system too. Like right now I'm just C because I started out, but I think you get points, you know, depending on how well you do and things like that. And that's pretty fun. And you can unlock characters for that. Some characters you can play in-game, some you can only play in Tag Climax, but which is sad because I unlocked one Balder, who's like my favorite fucking dude, and I can play him in Tag Climax, but you can't play him in the normal game, so I was sad about that. But otherwise, yeah, I've just been going crazy, you know, just trying to get, you know, all the weapons, all the everything. I just want to get everything, you know. I just want to experience the whole game for everything it has to offer, and it's just like, so far it's been fantastic, you know. And no goal I think is too far out of reach, because like the things that are way impossible still have cheat codes, so that's just a matter of getting enough halos. And there are a few different ways to grind halos in this game. It's not as easy as it was in the first game, I don't think. Because in the first game, there was one area you could just exploit and go absolutely crazy and fucking get a shit ton of halos. But there are a few different ways, and I looked up on YouTube and stuff to grind halos. So that's, you know, I'll have to be doing that. And also you get a bunch of halos if you're doing well in Tag Climax, so there's that, you know. So that's what I've been doing today. Probably will do tomorrow because I'm insane. It's crazy fucking fun though. Like my favorite weapon right now is, I don't remember what the name of it is, but it's a fucking chainsaw, and you can put it on your feet too. You know, and if you buy the alternate version, you can have chainsaws on your feet and chainsaws on your hands and just go absolutely crazy, and it's fucking amazing. It's so fucking great. Because you can't do like this super powerful wicked weaves, they're called, where you like summon giant fists and shit. So you can't do that. But if you hold, like you activate the chainsaw, and if you land a hit and then you hold the button, it'll spin the chainsaw, and just nothing stands a chance. Nothing stands a chance. It's so fucking fun. But that's, you know, that's what I'm doing now. So yeah, now I'm actually running through the hard technical mode, because it's not called easy, normal, and hard anymore. It's climax 1, or first climax, second climax, and third climax, I think it is. And if you beat third climax, you get things. If you beat every single level in any of the difficulties, you get different items. So if you beat them all in the first difficulty, you get Eternal Marionette, which is the item that lets you fucking spam and just win. So I talked about that. That was in the first game. And then if you beat the second one, you unlock Jean, and you unlock a few various weapons. You unlock actually 3 different weapons from the first game. So Sherba, which I've actually talked about before, which is the sword, and now there's actually there's a different type of sword in game. I don't remember what it's called, but there's actually like 2 swords, and if you get the alternate version, you have 4 swords, and you can have swords on your feet and your hands, and it doesn't make any sense, like, because you couldn't put Sherba on your feet, and which made sense to me, and then I was like, oh look, there's swords, you can put them on your feet, and I was like, wait, what? You know. But it's so much fun. So like, I usually had the swords on my feet because they work really well on your feet, which is surprisingly, but they're literally just swords sticking out of my shoes. It's fantastic. For most of the game, I had that, and I had what was like a scythe on my hands because I couldn't put it on my feet, and that was really fun. And another thing, I think one of the first ones you get is like a bow and arrow, and I fucking love it. Like, it's probably second favorite. It's really cool because you can just load off arrows, just rapid fire them from wherever the fuck you want. And a really nice combination is the bow and the whip. So in the first game you had a whip, and this one you have a whip too. But this particular whip you can actually put on your feet, but you couldn't do it in the first game. So bow on the arms and whip on the feet. And what I do is load off 4 arrows, and then that's a 4 punch combo, and then a kick does a like really strong wicked weave with the whip, and because it's a whip, it's got like massive range to it, and it's really strong. So I can just be like really far away, load off a few arrows, and then just slam with the fucking whip. And it's so quick. The bow is so quick. So it's just like, there was one enemy that had a really long sort of fucking downtime kind of thing, because the whip, the wicked weave out of the whip, that final really strong attack with the distance, it's like slams down on them. It'll stun a lot of the enemies. I think it'll just automatically stun any enemy that isn't, giant. And there was one particular one which was, sizable and would normally be a bit of a threat, but when I hit him with that combo, it stunned him for long enough that I could load off 4 arrows into him and then do the combo again, and he just remained down on the ground. He was not getting up. It was great. He didn't have enough time to get up in between the next time I was starting the combo, just because of how quick it is. That's it. It's just like load off 4 arrows super quick. And if you charge it, you'll load off more arrows. And there's actually, because the skills and all the special arrows or whatever, if you, like, the only thing you can really do is just load off arrows. You can also, there's like a more melee thing. If you do I forget what it's called, stiletto I think it is, which is like a charge forward kind of thing. If you do that with the bow, it'll actually it'll just do a charge forward kind of it'll just charge forward and won't fire off any arrows. But if you continue to attack with the punch button after that, you'll just start hitting with the bow instead of firing off any arrows. So if you wanted to do melee, if you started with that, you'd be able to do that. And I think that combo ends with the rapid punch combo that you get from a lot of the different weapons that use sort of punching style. So that's fun. But usually if I'm having trouble, I just keep my distance, load off more arrows into them, because the arrows actually, they have a poison to them as well. So like the enemy turns purple and slowly takes a little bit of damage with it, as long as they're purple. So it's just cool to do that. So switch between like the arrow just to poison them a little bit when I've got some distance, and then get up close and change to what would have been the sword and the scythe, and is now the 2 chainsaws, because chainsaw is like the last weapon you get, and it's not even the very last weapon that I can get, because there's a few more. There's one that I'm not entirely sure. No, I know how to get it. I just know I can't ever get it. Maybe. I don't know. Because there's one that you get after a really, really, really hard fight. And there's a possibility that it's easier on the Wii U, not on the Wii, on the second game. I don't know, probably not, because it locks you into the ultimate difficulty, the infinite climax difficulty, which I haven't even unlocked yet. But the fight, I can't even start the fight because the fight costs like 1 million. It costs 1 million halos. No, it actually costs 999,999 halos instead of 1 million. So max damage in this game, interestingly enough. I say that phrase often, don't I? But that's, yeah. And that's, I mean, as soon as I start like getting the items necessary for a few of the grinding techniques, then that won't be that big of a deal. But yeah, when I finish Climax 3, if I complete the game in that, I unlock a new character, which actually has an effect that helps in Halo grinding, and also unlock a new weapon, which is actually the Chain Chomp from the Mario series, and it's super cool. I read about it. And it'll actually just attack on its own. You just chain it to your leg, and then it just has to follow you around, and you can hit with it, but it'll just attack and just start barking and biting it, whatever the fuck is around it, regardless of what you're doing, which is pretty fucking cool. So I wanna get that one, give that one a try, and also collect absolutely everything while I'm doing the third one. I could have tried with the walkthrough the first time, but that's boring. I don't want to do that. I got a lot of the things, but yeah. So now I'm skipping cutscenes. I actually learned online that there's a shortcut to skip cutscenes. I used to what I would have to do is press start, and then there's like a little thing that says skip this cutscene, and then I'd have to click down to that, and then I'd have to click yes, and then click yes. It's like, no, not click, press, yeah. It would be start down A. It used to be start down A, left A, because when you opened up the prompt in the first game, when you opened up the prompt to skip the cutscene, it would default to no. So I'd have to tap yes over, or tap over to click yes, to press yes. But now it defaults to yes. But if you've beaten the game once, you can actually press minus and ZR at the same time, and it'll just skip the cutscene automatically, which is super good and useful. Because I was watching like a speed run, and I saw that that was happening, and I was like, wait, what? I assumed that it was a different version kind of thing, but I think it's just that, which is cool. So now I can just skip cutscenes. It just makes things a little bit faster, and I don't think there's anything in this game that's time dependent anymore. There's one there was a accessory in the first game where I had to beat the game in a total of under 3 hours, and I successfully did it. But I think that same item has a different requirement now. I think I just need to collect a bunch of things, or maybe it's the one where I need to get gold and everything. I know there's one like endgame thing where if I get platinum in every chapter on second or higher difficulty, I get what I think it's infinite magic. I think it gives you, or something even better. No, I think it just makes your attacks much, much stronger. Infinite magic is gained a different way, I think. Yeah, I don't remember. Some things I will be cheating in. I'm not afraid to do that. I just want to experience everything. I don't care if I'm getting everything legit. Why didn't I use her skill? I would have gotten 9s. I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, I don't care too much about getting it all legit. I just want to have fun, I could try to go through and just like find everything on my own, but you know, I'm not afraid of walkthroughs, and I don't want to just wander around forever, because some of that shit, some of it's just like really fucking tricky, right? Like the first chapter had so much shit in it, so many collectibles, and I got most of them, but there were two, I think it was, where you actually had to swim underwater, and you can't do that yet. In the first chapter, you haven't unlocked the water mode of Beast Within, so at some point you can learn how to turn into a snake kind of thing, and that'll let you swim underwater freely. And you can breathe underwater, and you can walk underwater as much as you want regularly, but you can't choose where you're going. You can't swim. You just walk on the bottom. And you have to jump out if you want to get out, and you know, if it's too far down, then you can't. But there were various two different I think it was like I think it might have been even two of the heart piece things that both required you to swim and find something under the water, which is just ridiculous that they would put that in the first level where you just literally haven't learned that yet. But whatever. So I would never have found that, I don't think. But no, I'm not afraid of walkthroughs. I don't think anyone should be. You know, they're there for a reason. For people like me who just either don't have the time or aren't good at looking for things. Maybe, I don't know. Ben was really good at that. Ben had the instincts to look around and like check shit and find shit when he was playing. Like, he found a bunch of shit that I just never even knew was there when I had him playing Bayonetta. That was fun. Let's talk about Ben more. Let's do that, maybe. Will he message me if I talk about him more? Like, what was that? Was that yesterday? I think that was yesterday. That happened. I'm pretty sure that happened before the cutoff. That was fucking dumb. What did trying to remember what I talked about in that like fucking 10 minutes. Now I know, but I remember it was super dumb. I'm not even gonna say it at all. No. Yeah. So it's just been Bayonetta. That's it. But there are definitely some changes. There was a flying section thing where I was on a thing. It was cool though, because I'd bought and wore the Star Fox costume, and Star Fox, if you wear the Star Fox costume when you enter the flying section thing, you actually it changes like the jet into the fucking thing from Star Fox. I'd never really played Star Fox. I don't like that kind of game, actually. But it does change the jet, and that was a lot of fun. I didn't even know that I was buying the Star Fox when I bought the Star Fox, because the Star Fox costume wasn't in the first game, and when I like went to buy it, there were like three different types of super mirrors you can get. There's the original one, and then there's the second one. So the original one has all the costumes from the first game, and then the second one has new costumes, and then there's one that's Super Mirror 64, and it's the all the Nintendo themed costumes. And the first one, like, I didn't really think about it at all. Like, just the description for the first one was something to do with pilot. And I was like, oh, it's the pilot. That sounds pretty cool. So I was like, all right, let's buy this one. And then I figured it out as soon as I saw it. I was like, oh, it's fucking Fox. That's cool. But no, it was pretty cool. It changes your gun into like a blaster kind of thing. And it changed that whole flying section. I think it like I think it's like on the wiki it might have even said that it changed some of the mechanics. I know it changed a few of the, like it changed the instead of dodge it's a dual barrel roll. So in the controls, ZR the button did a barrel roll, which is an obvious reference there. I guess I said I don't really play Star Fox, but at least I understand that one. So that was cool. But yeah, fucking, what am I talking about now? I was just like, because I've just been playing Bayonetta for 10 hours. It's just like my brain is just, okay, words, fuck, you know, that kind of shit. I'm gonna just drink some more water. I made a friend though. I didn't really make a friend, but somebody sent me a friend request after we had done climax mode together. I beat his ass, like fucking destroyed him. Like I think it was 2 times. We only did 2 rounds. The rounds consist of 4 fights, and you choose different fights based on cards, like verse cards or whatever. And there's a bunch of them. There's like 35 or something. And you unlock them while you're playing the game. And it's just a fight. It's just like this card means you fight these enemies kind of thing. And the winner of the previous fight gets to choose. And the winner again is just whoever gets more points. And then it's all tallied up at the end. And I think I doubled him the first time, and then I like came close to doubling the second time. I think he had like 40 and I had like 60 or something like that. So I did pretty well. Not 40,000, 60,000. So yeah. I mean, he was just playing with the guns, and I was playing with the bow and the chainsaw. Which I like. I should have done, like, while I was doing it, I was like, I should have done bow and whip, but I didn't really think about it, you know. But no, I still have, like, even though I've beaten the game, like, I've seen the ending and I know all of the story, I still have so much left to do, because there's so many fun costumes to try out, and there's still, like, new weapons I want to do. Well, I think there's only really 2. There's the one weapon that you get from the really, really, really hard fight, which I'm pretty sure I can just get from a cheat code, which I did last time in the first game. And there's the chain chomp, which I'm going to get from beating hard. And just like, I can tell now that I'm probably going to be able to beat hard. Because I mean, it is pretty difficult, but you know, I have items and things. I don't care that much about my score. So, you know, I have items, so I'm going to be able to survive, you know, some of it. Like, the first game took me so much longer because, like, when I would get to a point, and then I would stop, and then I would go back to the beginning, and then just start over, and then just grind like a motherfucker in order to get more halos, to get new accessories that would help me, or buy more health, or magic points. It's just like, whenever I talk about Bayonetta, it's just gonna have to what, it's like we're either at 15 minutes or 25, but just like, because of the average of how long it takes to go through all of my battle points, I'm pretty sure we're gonna be at like 25 or something. I don't know. Let's just fucking, I'm gonna use these 2 and then be done with it, but be completely done, just completely done until tomorrow, you know, because I don't give 2 shits about this event. I have like no reason to play it, right? I like LR Hades, but I've never gotten enough points to be within 300, and like, I don't have 4 point teams, and even the teams that I have that get points aren't that good, and I don't want to do it because the other event cards aren't that good. Well, Daneself is a good card. I just have her already, you know. So I don't fucking care. So I'm not really doing this event. But Bayonetta. What was I saying? Yeah. So the first game, I would get to a point and I would just be like, okay, I need to get more shit so that I can tackle this, and I just need to practice more and get better at it, because I'm not very good at video games. I've gotten pretty good at Bayonetta though. But I was just like, at that time I wasn't very good, and so I went back, I practiced more things, tried different weapons, learned combos, things like that, and then tackled the fight once again and just destroy whoever it was that was giving me trouble. I can remember Grace and Glory were the first time I was getting absolutely destroyed. But look, he's cute. Yay. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh. I'm out of water. Grace and Glory were definitely the things I had trouble with, and then Gracious and Glorious were the higher power versions, and I also definitely had trouble with, because they're just very, very fast. They just jump all around. I mean, when you can just like lock them into a combo and just smack the fuck out of them, it can go kind of quick. But if they're just jumping around and going crazy, it's really rough. And when I was trying to play Infinite Climax difficulty on, or maybe it was even hard. I think it was even in a hard mode. I really hope Bayonetta 2 doesn't do this, but I think there's a version of Gracious and Glorious where witch time isn't possible on them. I'm not 100% sure on this. It just felt like I've never gotten witch time off of them, and I'm not the best at getting witch time, but it felt like there were so many little opportunities where I was dodging properly, or I was just doing it right, and then it's just like, nope, it's no witch time. What? I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb and wrong, but that's what it felt like to me. Otherwise, yep, I've been playing Bayonetta 2. I recommend anybody who has a Wii U get Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. If you have a system that'll play Bayonetta 1, get Bayonetta 1. If not, go buy what? This got like Xbox 360 or something. You can get one of those used for what, like $100. And then Bayonetta 1 get used for like 20, 30. I don't fucking know. Really fucking fun. Really fun. Absolutely love it. Easily one of my favorite games. Comparing it to Faerun is hard because I just enjoy the hell out of Faerun, and I just think it's really great. But just like Bayonetta is also really fun, and they're just two very different things though. They're very different things. I bring that up because I say that Faerun's my favorite game. Bayonetta 1 versus Bayonetta 2. I'm not sure. Let me play a bit more with Bayonetta 2, and then maybe I'll go back, do more Bayonetta 1. Because I still want to finish my Jean file. Now actually, there are just a lot of really like small kind of changes. So now, if I want to play with a different character, I just go into the menu and switch characters. Before, if I wanted to play in a different character, I would have to start an entirely new file and choose that character from there, and then I was that character. So now I have, in the first game, I have a Bayonetta file and a Jean file. In the second game, I have just one file, and now I can play as Jean if I want to, and I might. But yeah, I might like right now almost. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do right now. Take care of yourself.